In a world where strength dictates fate and alchemy bends the laws of heaven and earth, the path of power is never without peril. As the winds of destiny gather once more, we return to the legend of defiance and ambition in Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 1421, Chapter 1422. The echoes of recent battles have yet to fade. Hidden schemes stir beneath calm waters, and forces both seen and unseen begin to converge. Our protagonist stands at a crossroads, where each choice could carve a path to supremacy or plunge everything into ruin. Old enemies sharpen their blades in silence, while new mysteries emerge like shadows at dusk. The fragile balance of power trembles, and the next step forward may ignite a storm no one can contain. Now, as the curtain rises on these chapters, steel your heart and steady your breath. For the tale is about to unfold once more. In the storm-swept expanse of the battlefield, a presence loomed that even Ling Han, with all his seasoned mastery, could scarcely rival. The Rain Emperor moved with the air of sovereignty itself, every step, every glance, radiating the innate dominion of one born to rule. His aura pressed down like the weight of heaven, leaving the gathered elites paralyzed in awe and fear. This was not merely strength. It was the essence of rulership made manifest, a will that demanded submission from all who dared to oppose it. You dare flaunt arrogance, an upstart who has only just reached the consummate level? The Eternity Sky Emperor's voice cut through the charged air like a blade, eyes burning with disdain. In an instant, his sword flickered, slicing toward the Rain Emperor with relentless precision, confident that this foe would fall as Ling Han once did. Yet the Rain Emperor advanced unyielding, a surge of primal energy radiating from him, and Ling Han flanked him, the two brothers moving in silent coordination. Thunder rolled as the Rain Emperor's fist, the legendary Son of Heaven technique, erupted into existence. But it was no mere repetition of the old form. It had been transfigured, magnified, each strike a declaration that all under heaven would bow before him. The impact, fierce and unrelenting, smashed against the Eternity Sky Emperor with the force of a world-breaking gale. Ling Han observed, a quiet understanding settling over him. The Rain Emperor had embraced the inheritance of an eternal river-tier elite, yet he had not surrendered his own path. The power he now wielded was enhanced, yes, but it bore the unmistakable stamp of a king's originality, a master who would not tread the worn paths of predecessors. Had he fully followed the inheritance, Ling Han mused, he could already be an eternal river-tier himself, but only as a shadow of another, a mere follower. This was the mark of true sovereignty, to ascend not by imitation, but by one's own vision. The battlefield convulsed with the clash of titanic forces. Each strike of the Rain Emperor collided with the Eternity Sky Emperor's blade in a symphony of thunder and lightning. The Rain Emperor wielded no god tool, yet each blow carried the aggression of a tempest, a relentless assertion of dominance. Regardless of the might arrayed against him, he demanded the upper hand in every facet of presence and temperament. Ling Han, keen and calculating, turned his gaze toward the Jade Drop Emperor. Though a powerhouse, the Rain Emperor lacked impenetrable defense. He could not rise from death unscathed. Ling Han could not allow these two emperors to unite their might against him. The chaos was immense, a maelstrom of four titanic elites, yet the brothers' odds were grim. Despite the Rain Emperor's astonishing prowess, the cultivation disparity loomed, a 3-star difference that even his ferocity could not erase. The Eternity Sky Emperor wielded both god tool and national power, his battle edge only slightly blunted by Ling Han's interference. Still, without Ling Han's own supernatural constitution and regenerative mastery, the Rain Emperor would have been shattered long ago. The battlefield intensified as more elites surged into the fray. Heavenly body-tier warriors of consummate rank, among them Shu Ran, drawing the attention of yet another adversary. The brothers were drenched in blood, every inhalation a struggle, every motion a defiance against impending collapse. Desperation sharpened their movements as they consumed alchemical pills with reckless abandon, their bodies growing numbed from overuse, their recovery slowing under the weight of exhaustion. Ling Han's mind raced. Do we have any reinforcements? He wondered, but knew the answer was impossibly grim. The Stone Emperor and North Emperor, with their supreme treasures, could turn the tide, but they were far away, beyond reach on Joint Peace Planet, Survival would be theirs alone to claim or lose. Second brother, return first, Ling Han urged, the weight of command heavy in his voice. He could hold a short while longer. The Rain Emperor's raw might had grown, but his defenses and regenerative capacity remained inferior. Ling Han's suggestion was clear: retreat to the Black Tower. The Rain Emperor's eyes, burning with unyielding resolve, met his brother's. No need to hurry. I will fight with you to the end, he declared. He knew the stakes. He knew Empress Luanxing's fate intertwined with Ling Han's, and he would stand by until the final breath. The Eternity Sky Emperor's cold laughter cut across the battlefield. You are destined to die here, together. Beside him, the Jade Drop Emperor's presence exuded lethal intent, his words sealing the deadly air. Join each other in the afterlife. And then, like a dark tide, a dozen heavenly body tier elites surged forward, their collective might shattering the ground beneath them. Ling Han and the Rain Emperor were hurled backward, bodies spattered with blood, hitting the earth with bone-shaking force. Neither had yet attained the pinnacle of the heavenly body tier. To endure this onslaught was already a feat of near miraculous endurance. The Eternity Sky and Jade Drop Emperors sneered, their minions echoing that same merciless expression. Only Kyuchoshe, the left minister, and the others felt despair's icy grip, witnessing their champions stretched to the brink. The traitor's treachery had brought the Chaotic Star's majestic empire to the verge of ruin. Ling Han staggered to his feet, intent on transporting the Rain Emperor into the Black Tower, indifferent to revealing the secret. Yet, at that critical moment, he paused. A faint rhythmic thump reached him, barely perceptible, yet resonating through his divine senses. The heartbeat emanated from the small mountain nearby, a sound absent before. Could it be Empress Luanxing awakening from her cultivation seclusion? The beats grew louder, a chorus of awakening power, and then an eruption. A column of light shot from the mountain into the heavens, halting every combatant in a moment of stunned silence. The stone door shattered violently, shards scattering with such force that even seasoned elites dodged instinctively. When the dust cleared, there she stood, Empress Luanxing, breathtaking, radiant, her presence a storm unto itself. Ling Han's eyes softened with relief. Her 9 clones had returned to her main body, her cultivation soaring to the pinnacle level of the heavenly body tier. Even if she had not broken through, he could have secured her safety within the Black Tower. But now, hope shone unmistakably in the chaos. Kyuchushui and the other ministers fell to their knees, hearts trembling, eyes filled with awe. Even the pupils of the Eternity Sky and Jade Drop Emperors constricted in shock. She had, in the past, subdued the Eternity Sky Emperor himself, wresting the 9-demon sword with force alone. Now she returned not as a vassal, but as a peerless force. The Jade Drop Emperor's voice cut through the tense air, venom-laden. You have lost the power of your nation. Stand with me, and I can grant you a throne. Together, we shall rule all. The Eternity Sky Emperor snapped, furious. I offer the same, and more. Their quarrel sounded petty now, 2 titans squabbling over a single prize. But before Luanxing could speak, the heavens themselves roared. Tribulation clouds gathered, crackling with lightning and thunder, signaling the descent of celestial wrath. The air trembled. The consummate-level empress, facing the heavenly tribulation, an eternal river tier emergence, was about to transcend yet again. The battlefield, the emperors, the elites, all fell silent, awaiting the moment when legend would rise from the storm. The skies above Point Star City simmered with a tense anticipation, a prelude to calamity. Empress Luanxing stood upon the highest terrace of her ruined palace, her posture unyielding, her gaze cutting through the haze of battle like a sharpened blade. The heavens themselves seemed to pause, as though respecting the presence of a woman who would not bow even as the storm of tribulation approached. Her eyes, dark as midnight and brimming with ferocity, scanned the city's remnants, yet the destruction around her stirred no sorrow. Her concern lay elsewhere. Point Star City, once the jewel of the majestic empire, had fallen, and with it, the empire's totem of power had vanished. The currents of national might were absent, confirming the collapse of the Chaotic Star's majestic empire. Yet Empress Luanxing's heart did not waver at the loss of an empire. Her thoughts were fixed on the living. Her gaze fell upon Ling Han, battered and bloodied, his aura dimmed yet stubbornly defiant. The sight of him, standing resilient in the face of injury, ignited a flame of both pain and rage within her. It was clear that he had waded through rivers of blood to defend her, to prevent any disturbance from reaching her throne. Ling Han, the bearer of the Black Tower, the spatial god tool that rendered him untouchable to even the mightiest of saints, had chosen to remain at the stone door, standing firm for her sake. In that moment, Empress Luanxing's heart swelled with a recognition of loyalty so profound it defied words. What more could a woman wish for? A subtle aura of primal chaos danced across her countenance, a tempest barely contained. But the eyes of those gathered, all elite warriors of heavenly body tier, were sharp enough to pierce this veil. The murmur of envy among them was silent yet potent, for none had ever seen the Empress regard a man with such tenderness and anguish. Even Kichushe and the others, watching with a mixture of awe and disbelief, could not hide their astonishment. Ling Han and Ding Lian had spoken the truth. The Empress's attachment was genuine. Yet how could it have blossomed so swiftly? Their encounters had numbered less than 10, a mere handful of meetings. They could not fathom the secret woven into her lineage. As a scion of the Nine Snake tribe, Empress Luanxing could split into 9 separate bodies. One of these had formed a bond with Ling Han long ago, a bond that had led to moments of intense, intimate confrontation, teetering on the edge of forbidden desire. Nearby, the Eternity Sky Emperor and Jade Drop Emperor perceived the flicker of emotion across Luanxing's face. Rage erupted in them, a tidal wave beyond anything they had known, 10-fold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Ling Han's claim of her as his wife had already unsettled them, but this display of care was a revelation more devastating than any blade. Their noble pride shattered, replaced by a searing desire to annihilate the source of their torment. No hesitation remained. Jealousy now fueled their wrath with a ferocity that surpassed even the fear of Ling Han's potential. With a thunderous roar, they struck, unwilling to pause even with the Empress present. Yet the heavens themselves seemed to bow to Luanxing. She raised her right hand, and 4 heavenly bodies orbiting behind her surged with power, each radiating an aura surpassing even the peak of her adversaries. The air trembled as she unleashed her might, sending the 2 emperors hurtling backward, their faces pale, blood misting from their mouths. But the Empress's concern remained unbroken, her gaze locked onto Ling Han with a delicate mixture of anguish and devotion. Ling Han, though bloodied, offered her a smile, faint yet resolute. "Everything's okay as long as you're okay," he whispered. And the words struck like molten iron against the hearts of the rival emperors. Even in the throes of jealousy, they could not deny the raw, unyielding tenderness between them. Luanxing's own voice, cold and lethal, vowed vengeance upon all who dared harm him. Ling Han merely nodded, confident that she would be unstoppable once she reached the pinnacle of her power. Meanwhile, Qiu Choshui and the other elites seethed silently. Their sacrifices, their struggles, seemed invisible beneath the Empress's singular devotion. Yet such is the nature of a sovereign who balances the fate of empires with the heartbeat of one man. Then, as if to declare the heavens' judgment, a bolt of lightning struck, aiming straight for Luanxing. With a flick of her hand, the divine fury was obliterated, fragmented into nothingness. Shock rippled through the onlookers. Heavenly tribulation, a force that could shatter mortals and saints alike, subdued with a mere gesture. Ling Han's eyes gleamed with recognition. She was advancing not merely to the early pinnacle stage, but to its zenith, her cultivation magnified 10-fold by her 9-fold essence. Her power now rivaled the low extreme of the eternal river tier, rendering the tribulation trivial in comparison. Lightning continued its relentless descent, yet each bolt was met with her fists, shattered effortlessly, a spectacle that left the spectators frozen in awe and fear. No one had witnessed such mastery over heaven's wrath. Luanxing's voice, carried by the storm, rang with authority and personal resolve. She could endure the invasion, the slaughter of her citizens, but an attack on Ling Han was intolerable. The statement was clear. Her loyalty, her wrath, her love eclipsed the realm itself. Territory and citizens were of lesser import. He alone commanded her concern. The Eternity Sky Emperor and Jade Drop Emperor trembled, their hearts pierced not by blades but by the cold calculus of her devotion. Qi Shui and the others' expressions twisted with a bitter mixture of disbelief and envy. Bloodshed for the empire meant nothing against the singular focus of a sovereign's heart. As the storm of tribulation raged around them, one truth became undeniable. Ling Han's life was the axis upon which Empress Luanxing's world now turned, and none could challenge the might of a heart so resolute.